Hi everyone. Today I'm going to discuss on Azure Virtual Desktop. What is Azure Virtual Desktop? I will be showing a demo as well, but before that, let's cover a little bit of concept. Azure Virtual Desktop is nothing but a virtual desktop experience which is providing to the end users. It would be scalable, more secure, and a cloud benefit you are bringing into the virtual desktop technology. So there are much more vendors and Windows itself is providing virtual desktop technologies. AVD is standing out because it is a cloud technology, so that it is on demand. You are only paying for what you are using. You can always dismantle. You can always create new virtual machine pools. Anything you want you can do on demand, and reservation also possible. So according to your use case and your scenarios, you can make it more reliable, more secure, and more customizable and more scalable. That is what Azure Virtual Desktop is offering. Not only desktop experience users getting, if you want only particular application to be published to the users, like the Word application, the custom application you have developed, or any other applications like third party applications you needed to bring, you can choose only which app you needed to bring into the customer instead of providing entire desktop experience. That is what ABD solution is providing to you. So what you need to do in order to achieve the desired result, how you can deploy ABD solution. So first and foremost thing you needed to do is plan and design. You needed to see how many users are there, how many workloads you will be running, what is the intensity of the workload, whether it is read heavy, whether it is write heavy, how many users should be logging into per session. During the peak time, how would be the virtual machine count? During the non-peak time, how would be the virtual machine count? Whether you should be reserving any virtual machines for entire time. All these things you needed to think and develop a design plan. So that is something which you needed to do. If you want me to do a detailed video on this, please comment below, I can do that as well. But yeah, for now, let's think you have done all the planning, all the designing, and you have decided this many virtual machines are I needed to be in my host pool. Once you have done all these steps, you needed to actually think of these three components: the host pool, application group, workspace. These are the three components you will be using. So remember one thing, this is a somewhat a managed solution you are getting. Only host pool and application group and workspace you would be creating. Rest of the control plane remain there. You can't really manage that control plane like RD web, RD broker, all this front door, load balancing, all these components which involved in the control plane you won't be able to control, because you are getting that as a service, as an AVD solution. You will get it. If you can see, you will be only paying for the infrastructure cost and the user access cost. The control plane you are not paying. And the host pool, how many VMs are there in the host pool, according to that only you will be paying. User access, if you are having any of these licenses, you can consider yourself as you are having the AVD user access license as well. Many of the organization anyway will be having any of these licenses, so you will be eligible for that. If you don't have, you needed to actually purchase it. So yeah, that is how the pricing work. Again, as I said, the control plane is completely free. You are only creating the work plane or the data plane you will be creating, which include these steps. The application host pool is something which the VMs will be assigned to, or you will be creating all the VMs under one host pool. And application group is something which represents this host pool apps which you are actually clubbing together, and you will be assigning the users and group to that. I will be showing in a bit. Workspace is something which you are defining in my screen, which I am presenting to the user. What are the things should be seen, and whether that should be a private connectivity, public connectivity, all these things you can actually define in the workspace. Once you have done that, using either of these method, you can actually access your ABD, the web, remote desktop client, and Windows app. Remote desktop client is going to deprecate, so Windows app would be the recommended option. And a few things are still not supported in Windows apps like private link, but it's okay if you are using a public connectivity. Windows app would be the recommended thing because it is a new and modernized app, and optimized performance you will get for that. Yeah, so this is about the concept, and without any further delay, let's quickly jump into the demo. Yeah, here I am in Azure portal. This is my virtual network where I will be going to deploy the host pool. So if you can see in the here, I have already created one subnet for the ABD. This is the one. So this is the only thing you needed to create beforehand. Once you have created that, you can go here and you can start creating your host pool. What you needed to do is you needed to go to ABD solutions and ABD servers and host pool, and you can directly start creating the host pool. Here you needed to provide the resource group, the host pool name, the location, and whether you are need the desktop experience to be provided to the user or remote app experience needed to be provided to the user. Desktop, which means entire desktop will be present, a remote app particular application would be present on, that is a complete isolation. So I'll be showing that in some other videos. Pooled or a host pool type you needed to specify whether it is pooled or personal. Pooled means you are providing multiple users to multiple virtual machine. There is no virtual machine or user mapping, which means any user can logging into any machine. If you are using the multi-session OS, even at a time, more than one users can logging into one single machine. So personal is a user to virtual machine mapping would be there. Only that user can log into that machine. A dedicated machine would be provided. So if you want to get most out of it, pool would be my recommendation because all the scalability, demand, on demand services, all the things will be available in the pooled, and the cost optimization also possible. There are other concept will be there. If it is a pooled resources, how would be the user session can be managed, how the data can be stored and all. There is another concept with that named FS logic, so I will be showing it in my next demos. Okay, then the load balancing algorithm, it is a logical thing, breadth first or depth first, whether you needed to fill the capacity first or whether you needed to fill the virtual machine first. So it's your choice. And the maximum session limit is the how many number of users session can be assigned to one particular machine. If I am going for multi-session virtual machines, then I can choose this option at a time. Okay, then the next is I can add the virtual machine here. Resource group provide name prefix needed to be provided. Virtual machine type, again I can use the host pool from virtual machine or the Azure local virtual machine. How to do it for Azure local machine, I will do another video for that. For time being, you can select Azure virtual machine. Then the region, availability zone, availability area, availability options, all the things you can actually select. The one other important thing is the image. Which image you needed to select? I need the multi-session image. That is the reason I have selected Windows 11 multi-session image. Also the Microsoft 365 apps are deployed, pre-deployed in it. And the virtual machine size, I am happy with this. According to your preferences, you can change it. To virtual machine is okay for the demo purpose. Premium SSD I am selecting, and the disk size. One other important thing is the virtual machine and the network security group. So you have to select which is the virtual machine, virtual network, and the subnet and the network security group type as well. After that, you needed to actually provide the authentication method, whether it is Active Directory or Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra ID anyway would be there with you. If you don't have Active Directory or you don't prefer that, you can actually go for Microsoft Entra ID. I have Active Directory integration with me. Remember, this is a hybrid identity, which means the Active Directory should be synced with Entra ID. How to sync it? I have already done the video. I will provide the link in the description box. I have provided this is my domain, my cloudy.biz. This is the user and the password I have given. If you want to specify a particular unit OU, you can specify here. And the virtual machine local administrator credential also needed to be provided. So the virtual machine will be created with this credential. Once you have done that, you needed to create a workspace. So application group will be automatically created as part of the host pool. Workspace you needed to create, and after that you needed to actually enable the diagnostics. It is optional, but I would recommend you to do it because if you are in a production environment for troubleshooting purpose, isolating the issue purpose, for auditing review, all this purpose, you would require these logs. So very much recommended to turn it on. Once you have done this, you have actually review and created. I have already created it. It would take some time to create. Once you have created it, you can go back to your host pool session. This is the host pool demo I have created for this lab, and you can see the two virtual machines has spin up already. So if you can see, it is in a can connects mode. So if you can see here, it's already available. The health is okay. If you can see all the status, whether it is join, the domain join check, all the checks and status, it is there. All the things are actually there here. You can remove the session, start the session, whatever you want. You can do it from here as well. So once you have done that, the next step you needed to do is you needed to go back to this the Azure Virtual Desktop, and you needed to see the application group assigned with it. So when hostpool is creating, the application group also create along with it. So if you can see, this is my application group. This is actually representing my desktop, which is the application. So if you can see, the application is my desktop. If I am having some other application like Windows, Word, something which isolated application I needed to present, that also I can add it here. If some more other host pool I needed to present to the user, that also I can add it here. Simply add here and do your job. Assignment is something which you needed to do mandatorily so that your users can get access to this application group. If you can see, user 1 and user 2 I have added, so you can simply go here and add your user. It will show the option for you which are the users needed to be added. I have already added user 1 and user 2 so that these two users is having the access. So now I have created a host pool. The application group is already part of it. Now I have applications are already added. Now the application assignment also completed, the user assignment. The workspace also I have created as part of the host pool creation. I will simply show that. So this is a workspace, demo workspace. So here you can see my application group is tagged into it. So then only your this application group will be seen to the users. So in short, the host pool will be created there where the VMs will be attached, and that host pool will be used tagged as an application in an application group, and user will be assigned to that, and those application group will be presented to the workspace so that the user can see it. So I will show. So these three steps done, and then what I needed to do is I needed to simply go to one access method, which would be either I can go for remote desktop client, Windows app, or web client. So I am going for the Windows desktop, so Windows app. So Windows app I have already installed and it is there. So you can actually go here, and I have logged in with the this user one dot this user one at mycloudy.biz. I have already logged in, and if you can see, this is my demo workspace, the workspace which I have created, and application is the session desktop which is already attached with it. So I can simply click on the connect button. I needed to provide the credential, then I will be logging into my remote desktop. Okay, so I got my session desktop with me. I haven't opened any inbound port here. Only outbound port I have allowed. That is it. And yeah, I got it ready with me. Now I can do whatever I want, and a secure, scalable virtual desktop solution has created. Yeah, so this is it for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.